And I was like, okay, cool, good perspective. So, Eight of Pentacles is an invitation for all of us in September. It's just to say, yeah, your day in and your day out is really boring for you. But if other people were to look at your life, what is it that they would be like, wow, I can't believe that like that's what they get to do on a day-to-day basis, or those are the things that they have. Hello, and welcome to the Empress podcast. I am your host, Jessica, known in the online space as Jess the Empress. I started this podcast to help you be present with yourself, cope with chaos, and simplify your life. I do this by combining psychology, behavioral science, and the tarot. I have a background in mental health, specifically a master's in clinical social work from USC, and I'm a professional tarot reader. So get ready to have a nurturing, creative, and empowering experience with me as we use practical magic. Hey, hi, hello. How are you? Hope you're well. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I'm just making sure I have the right microphone hooked up as I do everything. Okay, so we are ready to roll. Welcome to September's tarot reading for the collective. I'm excited to get into this. I've got a few other cards with me as well. I thought it would be fun to do the Spirit Animal Oracle. And then I also have this Oracle deck, the Wisdom of the Oracle, which is pretty good. We'll see what comes out and what happens. But let's just pull a card for the collective. This is what we need to know in September. Okay. So we have the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse position. We also have the Eight of Pentacles in the upright position. And then let's see what we get from the middle of the deck. From the middle of the deck, we have Temperance. Okay, cool. Well, the attitude of gratitude is key here for the energy of September. With the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse position, there's a couple of things that we need to know when we're presented with this card. Pentacles have everything to do with the material world. This does include the physical body, how we nurture ourselves, the way we perceive time, the way we use time, money, career, resources, things like that, finances. With the nine being in the reverse position, we could be revisiting a familiar pattern or something that we thought we had like gotten rid of. And we're like, oh, I'm through with this. I've learned this lesson and it's coming back in. When we're presented with this type of experience, it's really important that we take some time and reflect on what we know, what we've already learned. I think people can be really quick to assume that they haven't learned anything. They get caught up, or maybe they get blindsided because they have this inner belief like, I thought I was done with this. Let me tell you a secret that is going to save you a lot of time, and it's a compassionate secret. This is it, okay? We're never done with anything. Like, we're going to get tempted, we're going to fall off track, we're just going to re-experience things, and it's not because we lack willpower. It's not because we're horrible people. It's just because it's life, right? Now, like I said, it's important to reflect on what we've learned instead of shifting into this, oh, why does this keep happening to me? What's wrong with me? I see a lot of people, kind of jumping into that space that I outlined pretty quickly. But I think that it takes away from slowing down, which is what we have in the Nine of Pentacles. And in slowing down is that reflection. It's this questioning of like, well, what is it that I have experienced and what did I learn from those last times? What wisdom do I have within me that I need to reflect on? I'm not saying you have to be grateful when you find yourself in a crappy situation. Well, you don't have to be grateful for the situation. You don't have to be grateful for the person that's coming in. You can choose to be grateful. You don't have to be grateful. The Nine of Pentacles is an invitation for gratitude. Again, not maybe towards the other people, but maybe more so towards yourself, that you have this ability to take that step back and to reflect, that you have this space to slow down and to ask yourself critical questions. So that way you can leave this pattern or leave this tempting thing without getting roped back in. Now, the number 9 is connected to the hermit in the major arcana. So, with hermit energy, we have that let's go into our inner wise one. Let's cut out the noise and let's go ahead and go within with full understanding that there's a lot of information inside of us and we just need to listen. And when we listen, that's when we're often the most successful at extracting the helpful stuff that's going to help us make the right decision. Next to the 8 of Pentacles, it's like we've got more work to do. We've got more work to do on ourselves, on the things that we're creating in the world. The work isn't over. And the 8 of Pentacles is saying as we move into September, it might feel a lot like Groundhog's Day. It might feel a lot like this is boring. I don't like this, whatever, whatever. I really have come to like the 8 of Pentacles as time has gone on because it tells me that I need to watch out for my mindset. And the reason why I know I need to watch out for my mindset when the 8 of Pentacles presents itself, because I have this creative itch to do something different. I have to consciously choose where I put that creative energy. So that way I'm not kind of like scrapping something before it even gets to the completion process. And I'll give you an example. Lately, I've been contemplating about the Hellacious Hotties Academy. And I've been like, I don't know if I want to actually launch it. Like, I've kind of had this inner like struggle with it. Not because I don't like the idea. I really love the idea. It's just like the content, I feel as I'm going through it, a part of me is like, oh my God, I think it needs like a total overhaul. And then another part of me is like, but you've been in it for so long. That's what you think. But what if it's still really great? And what if people still really benefit from it if you put it out as is? So that's kind of where I was at. And I was almost thinking of like not doing it. I'd even mentioned it on Instagram that I might not do it. But I was recently presented with the 8 of Pentacles regarding this particular question in this area of my life. And I was like, that's what it is. It was my mindset. My mindset was saying, because I was in it, my perception of it is totally different than the perception of someone who's buying the course and taking it to understand shadow work and how to alchemize their shadow. Hey there, coffee lovers. Are you tired of settling for boring coffee? I have a treat for you. Today's episode is brought to you by Heartwork Coffee Bar, your one-stop destination for exceptional coffee experiences. Whether you're a coffee connoisseur or just someone who appreciates a great cup of joe, Heartwork Coffee Bar is here to elevate your coffee game to new heights. At Heartwork Coffee Bar, they take pride in their craft because each batch is carefully roasted to perfection, ensuring that every sip is a symphony of flavor. From the rich and the robust to the light and fruity, they have a coffee blend for every palate. And here's the best part. For you amazing podcast listeners, Heartwork Coffee Bar is offering an exclusive 10% discount on your purchase. Just use the code Empress10 at checkout and you'll save big on your order. Why settle for ordinary when you can indulge in the extraordinary coffee from Heartwork Coffee Bar? Remember to use code Empress10 for that special 10% discount and treat yourself to the coffee experience that you deserve. Don't miss out on this fantastic offer. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thanks to Heartwork Coffee Bar for making today's episode possible. Now go grab your favorite mug, brew a fresh cup, and enjoy the podcast with the perfect companion, Heartwork Coffee Bar. Cheers. And I was like, okay, cool, good perspective. So 8 of Pentacles is an invitation for all of us in September. It's just to say, yeah, your day in and your day out is really boring for you. But if other people were to look at your life, what is it that they would be like, wow, I can't believe that like that's what they get to do on a day-to-day basis, or those are the things that they have. There is a sense of security in the 8 of Pentacles. It even suggests like, but you have work. Like there's money coming in, or there's money being given to you, or there's money available for you to make, but you have to have the effort in order to bring that thing in. And the mindset is important. 8s are all about transformation. So this makes sense when we have this perspective of like, this is boring, I hate this. It can be a little more difficult to reframe the mindset and decide that we're going to be okay with the way things are, right? We're going to say, you know what? Yeah, the dishes have to get done. And you know what? Okay, the dogs have to get walked. And you know what? The kids have to get fed and all the things. And we can either be like, this is horrible. I hate this. I wish my life were different. I wish I were on a yacht somewhere, blah, blah, blah. Look, going to that place mentally doesn't change the fact that you still have dishes to do, dogs to walk, and kids to feed. Like all that's still going to be there. Okay. Why not be present in the moment? And I understand that being present sometimes sucks because you don't like everything that's there. But what if you could change your mindset about what was in the present moment? And what if that change of mind allowed you to find enjoyment and pleasure and contentment? So you're going on a thought exploration. I believe that's going to lead to a little bit more balance for you in September. And I say this because we're ending this part of the reading with temperance. Temperance is about balance, it's also about wisdom. And this is the adventure seeker. This is the person that is always looking for the silver lining in a situation. And they can be considered a little too optimistic. But I love Sagittarius for that. That's the astrology sign connected to temperance. So in this energy, in temperance, if something is too hot, we need to cool it off. If something is too cold, we need to warm it up, right? It's our responsibility to find our middle way in life and to find what balance means for us. It's an individual process. It's not something that I could look at you and say, here's your formula for balance, or here's a one size fits all formula for balance. Like that's just not a thing. Recently, a friend of mine asked me, what have you been doing for your health that's been really helpful? And I told her, I said, I got back into roller skating and I got back into running. And I actually got into the roller skating because it's fun. I really realized that for my overall health, not just mental health, but physical health, I needed to have more fun in my life. I needed to have activities that were the type of movement that my body really likes. And I know that running, like I have like an interesting relationship with running. I used to do it all the time. I don't know that I always found it fun, but I know that I feel so good when I'm done, like so good. I've always felt so good after a run. Um, and so I love that feeling of feeling good. And I know that the work is worth it for me because the end result makes me happy. It makes me a better person to be around. I just get excited about running. So I guess in that way, like it is fun. So anyway, I was like, I brought more fun into my life because I was feeling kind of like a little, wow, I don't know, like this isn't the day in and day out. Like again, that freaking Nine of Pentacles energy, Eight of Pentacles energy. So I think that I'm right here with you guys. Like, don't feel like this is something you're isolated to by yourself. Like, no way. Like, I've been there, but I recently just, like I said, started bringing more fun into my life. And when my friend and I were talking, she was saying, when you're the adult, right? You have kids and all this stuff, like there's so much more on your mind. And even though I don't have kids, I have a business and I have a partner. My partner has a business. So I can resonate with like there being a lot on your mind. And the way that I teach like my clients when they have businesses is like the business is a baby, it is its own entity, its own energy, and the way that it's going to go through stages, just like kids go through stages. It's not like an exact parallel, but I'm saying that like there's a lot that you take on mentally and emotionally. There's a lot of risk. It's not like stress free to have a business or to have children, as you know, I'm sure. But you got to have fun. You got to bring in the balance. And I think that, look, if your life is feeling kind of crappy, if you're feeling ungrateful, you definitely need a mindset check. And Spirit is saying September is going to bring that to you. Um, and there might be a couple of tests. There usually are, right? But if you want to really know who you are, take a look at your behavior, okay? Because your behavior is a vote for the person that you are and the person that you want to be. Not 100% of the time. Like we all do things that we're like not proud of. But when we take the time to be intentional, right? In the Nine of Pentacles reversed, and we take the time to reflect, our behavior will tell us about ourselves and we can choose to do things differently. So if we don't like the way we're behaving, we then have an opportunity still in the Nine of Pentacles to do better, right? To change the behavior. Excuse me while I take a sip of tea. Today I have blackberry citrus tea, which is pretty nice. Let's pull a couple of oracle cards and see what we get here. All right, this is the Colette Baron Reed deck. Okay, so we're doing the wisdom of the oracle. Oh, this one flew out. Okay, new life. That's what this says. Okay, it's card 39. I'm going to pull the book out for this one. Let's see. We'll make it easy. All right, 39, new life. The essential meaning is the birth of new ideas, growth, opportunities, a breath of fresh air, life renewing itself. Cool. When spring awakens the world, joy and excitement can be felt all around and in your very core. Blossoms burst from trees overnight, birds return home and sing their glorious song, and nature is full of promise. Miracles beckon all of us. This is one of those times in your life when new ideas inspire you and new opportunities bring hope for seeing your dreams come true. All is well in your world, and you have the energy you need to feel renewed. So allow your heart to fill with enthusiasm. Let your light shine, for this time is of good fortune. Okay, cool. So look, it's not all bad, is it? It's not all bad. The new life is like a rad card to get. For those of you off camera, there's like a little fairy coming out of I guess it's like an egg or something. It's cute. But it looks like she's stretching. She's just like waking up. So, new life. Let's talk about the concept of new life a little further. Again, I love that. I love the grandiosity of these like oracle cards and stuff. I think they're cool, but I also love like let's just touch grass. New life can also be when you have decided that um the laundry, like having to do laundry, yeah, it's boring, but that means you and everyone in your family have clothes to wear. And that can be something that you're grateful for. That's the mindset shift. That's the new life that you bring into the life that you're already living. You can save yourself a lot of time and energy. I don't know about time. Let me say that again. You can save yourself a lot of energy regarding how much you expend on your mental stories. Okay. So you're doing laundry in scenario one, and scenario one, you're like, oh my God, I have to do laundry, and oh, I need to go do this, and oh, I have to fold it. Oh, it's going to take so long, and oh, blah, 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 blah. Or scenario two, you're like, okay, cool. I got a bunch of clothes to do. This is kind of cool. Like, look at all the colors, look at all the stuff. Like, they're going to smell so freaking good when they're done. I love the scent of fresh laundry. This means I have had clothes to wear and I'm grateful for my choices. I'm grateful for my options. I'm grateful that I have clothes for all different seasons. My kids have clothes, my spouse has clothes, whatever. My dogs have clothes, whatever. And you can just be in that energy. You can just decide that you want to focus on the gratitude and come back to that time and time again. That's bringing new life to a situation, and it's keeping energy because it's so much easier to be grateful. I know at first, if you haven't practiced gratitude, there can be a lot of resistance to doing something. There's a lot of resistance to doing something good or bad. Like resistance is pretty neutral. It usually presents itself because there's a change happening. So if you find yourself resisting something that has been proven to be helpful for a lot of people, it's not because you have something bad or wrong or like a ton of like judgments, negative judgments about it always. It's just like your body and mind naturally resist change. Even if that change is positive, it's not like you can always go jumping into it and be like, I'm so excited. Like it's normal to resist even positive changes, okay? But in the long run, after you overcome the resistance and you decide that you want to be in that gratitude space, it saves you a lot of energy because you're not draining yourself. You're not sitting here listening to yourself whine about, oh, I have laundry to do, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about the spirit animal oracle. Let's go. Okay. Oh, you guys, it's my favorite. It's a dog friend. And there's like a little wolf in the background because, dogs come from wolves. Okay. It says dog and then it says friend. Today, I will love without condition. My energy and enthusiasm are an inspiration. I choose to be happy. I'm a protector and friend. That's really cute. Let's internalize this. Let's say that we will love without condition. How about we love ourselves without conditions? We don't have to be perfect in order for us to love ourselves. We don't have to be all the labels, like insert all the worldly labels. Okay. You don't have to be any of those things in order for you to turn to yourself and decide that you're lovable in order to accept yourself and love yourself. With unconditional love towards yourself, there is no, it's always a good time, right? You're never like an inconvenience to yourself. If you really understand like unconditional love and acceptance, there's nothing that you can do that can stop you from unconditionally loving and accepting yourself, which is incredibly profound. We don't get that externally. We get that internally. And that's one of the most precious things that we get to give to ourselves in this lifetime. It's super rad. I choose to be happy. I think that's an interesting statement. Um, I mean, I do agree that happiness is a choice. I do think that it is more difficult for some people, but I think if you steer yourself in the direction of happiness, then happiness seems a little unattainable. And that's fine. I think that's a valid place to be. Maybe going for something like, I'm just going to be curious, or I choose to be open, or I choose to be neutral. You can even say, I choose to be less grumpy. Like, I choose to be 1% less grumpy. Okay. Like, we're just talking about progress, not perfection. And then I am a protector and friend. I think we need to be protectors and friends to ourselves. Like, I think that we're so quick to give that to other people, which is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think that if we're forgetting that we can be a protector and friend to ourselves, then we might want to ask ourselves these questions of like, well, how can I protect myself? What does being a good friend to myself actually sound like? What does that look like? And if you want to kind of know more about that within yourself, reflect on how you treat your friends, reflect on how you treat your loved ones, reflect on the behavior that you have around your friends and loved ones when they're stressed out, if they're in a similar situation with yourself, or if you knew that a friend of yours had a lot of wild, dark, and twisty inner dialogue and they expressed that to you and they said, this is what I have going on internally. How would you be a friend to them? Right? What are some comforting things or kind things that you might do? What are other questions that you might ask? You can turn all of that energy into yourself, okay? And begin the process of being a friend to yourself and being a protector to yourself. So I feel like that's what we've got going on in September. I appreciate you being here. I hope that this helps. I hope that it gives you some good stuff to think about. And I will see you soon. Okay. Bye. Hey, love, I want to ask you to rate and review my podcast. Giving me a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts would mean the world to me. I love knowing who's listening and what everyone is getting from the episode, so please take a moment of your time to share your thoughts, and I look forward to reading your reviews soon.